What's going on, guys? It's been a while since it's been a while since I've been up at this hour.
Oh yeah. Woo! Are you usually
well for like a watch party? Yeah. For a watch party, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. This is normal.
Falcon and the Winter Mephisto. I'm dead.
Bro, you like that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, man. No, but thank you guys for showing up tonight. I know it's pretty early in the morning for most people like me. As you can see, our logo is pink for breast cancer awareness, and it will be for quite some time. But yeah, so this is the Falcon and Winter Soldier watch party for episode 5. We'll do it for the final 2 episodes of the season. I've included the link to Twitch in the comments. So you guys can join and watch the whole thing either over there or when the episode drops at 3. As always, definitely feel free to share your thoughts and opinions because that's what makes it worth it.
That's right.
Totally.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, it makes it totally worth it. And I always see that there's like 10, 12 people and like one person commenting, and it like aggravates me a little bit, but I won't say too much on that. But no, thank you guys so much, and we love you, we really do. And I'm super happy to be back in a position where I could do this.
Yeah, this is fun. Caden, what's up, man?
Man, Caden's so Caden's usually like a everydayer, but he's doing the college thing right now, or I think it's college. I'm pretty sure it's college, and he's got a lot of work going on right now and a lot of stuff that he's doing. But Caden, I know you're gonna do well on whatever tests, yada yada.
Man.
But over to the Falcon and Winter Soldier. So what do you think's going on tonight? What do you think's happening?
Dude, apparently a lot's supposed to happen tonight. So first of all, we have an hour-long episode tonight.
Woo! Let's get it. Not that, and it's not that WandaVision hour-long episode that they promised us. Motherfuckers.
Right. Yeah, that nice 40-minute episode with 20 minutes of crap.
Yeah, so they'd be like, you're gonna get 1 hour-long episode, and it's actually 32 minutes, and the rest is credits. So
right, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, pimpin'.
So yeah, I'm excited. We have an hour. Apparently, there's supposed to be. I don't know if it's a new character that's gonna be revealed or if it's a past character, but there's supposed to be some big appearance tonight from somebody. I'm thinking it might be probably General Ross. I'm hoping General Ross set up maybe some.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it's definitely Thunderbolt Ross, as I've been saying since the beginning. Anytime there's Super Soldier Serum, he's not too far behind.
Right.
So my bet, you could take my money right now.
Yeah. Right.
All the money that I'm up on Dogecoin today, you could take it all, and I'll put it all on General Ross.
Ooh, hey man, I did the same. I felt the same way about Mephisto.
Yeah, but I
don't know how that turned out.
I didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, not even. No. because I was confused by the language of that article. You know, I just, it never made sense to me. I was like, who is saying it? Who's saying it? Who's saying that there's going to be a cameo? Is it Elizabeth Olsen? Is it Paul Bettany, or is he just fucking with us? And turns out,
he was,
he's an
asshole. I mean, no, he's probably really nice.
No, and you know, so I don't know if you guys, anyone noticed, but so my name is Bucky Barnes, and I'm joined by Sam Wilson tonight. And we're happy. We're really happy to be here.
That's right.
You know,
I'm excited.
We look just like this, so
it's it's almost uncanny how much. Honestly, I think we should probably just
cosplay it for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, we should just sign up to be their stunt doubles.
But listen. All jokes aside, last week's episode pretty dark.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the direction that Disney Plus shows are going? I mean, because we saw a Marvel, we saw an MCU that I've never seen before. Yeah. We've seen glimpses, maybe. We've seen the line get towed a couple times, but we never seen them pull the trigger. Last week they pulled the trigger. They took a character for who symbolizes hope, symbolizes protection, symbolizes the American dream, and bashed someone's skull in with it.
Mm-hmm. And not just it was. For me, it was a really exciting thing. I think it's a really exciting place for Marvel to go because obviously we haven't gone there before. Fans love edgy stuff and they want edgy stuff. And I think this was the perfect amount of edgy for Disney Marvel, Right. And I think it hooked a lot of people that I'll be honest, up until this point, I wasn't really that into the show. Up until that point that I was like, okay, all right, now they're gonna start heading. It was cool. I like the espionage and I like the Zemo and all that. I like it, but it wasn't. I just I think I was expecting a lot more and just yeah.
But Caden, you said you'd take me on that bet, but who are you putting up?
Yeah.
If it's a Skrull, I'll leave. I promise I'll stop streaming forever. I'll stop podcasting. I'll stop streaming. I'll stop bothering everyone on Twitter. If it's a Skrull that shows up in this episode, I'll retire right now. I'm putting up a lot tonight. I'm putting up all the money. I'm up on Dogecoin, which is a good amount. And I also will retire tonight. Tonight I'll retire if Skrull is the cameo.
Oh my god!
Or if it's Mephisto, I'm just kidding.
We gotta scroll. If it's Mephisto, I'll retire. We're both gone. If it's Mephisto, that's it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Meryl Streep is probably the cameo. Wouldn't that be wild?
I love Meryl Streep.
Oh, that would be phenomenal. It'd just be the most random. There's been something going around about like that Captain America might possibly show up. I think Wyatt Russell was quoted this week because the people were asking him, what's his connection to Cap or why did they choose him? And he goes, by the end of the show, people will understand and be like, oh wow. And so now people are running around kind of like the WandaVision stuff, Doctor Strange and all that. They're like, oh, Cap's gonna show up.
Yeah, bringing that. Don't bring that expectation on me. Don't do it. Don't do it. But I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to happen to John Walker? What's going to happen? Because pretty much I would expect, unless we start with some sort of backstory, like maybe something. Some sort of backstory, kind of like what we got last week with the opening in Wakanda. Unless we get something like that, we're jumping right into this thing, right? He has just decapitated someone with a shield, right? Yeah. Sam and Bucky walk up and they're like, "Damn, man, what did you do? Yeah. Like you did it. You did it. You crossed the line." Are they gonna take the shield?
I think he's gonna be stripped of the shield for sure. Well, obviously, there's in the trailer for this week's episode, Sam and Bucky.
I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
I would rather not hear it.
Okay, so
yeah.
Anyways, I think stuff's gonna happen. Okay. With that in that regard, but I do think John Walker is not just going to lose possibly the shield, but I think we're going to, by the end of the series, he's going to be no longer the Captain America, but U.S. agent or whatever that version is.
Yeah.
I don't see him being Cap by the end of this.
Yeah, I don't think the plan was ever to have him as Captain America long term, in any sense of the word. I do think that this show is definitely a coming of age for the Captain America that we'll see for the future, and I do believe that that's Sam, right?
Yeah.
I always have believed it, and I do believe that that's the route they're taking. I would go as far to say as Sam is the central character in the story, and Bucky is obviously close to being like he'd be the second central character, but I do think the show is aimed more towards Sam. And I do think that that's, a good thing. I do think that Sam will come out as the new Captain America, but I do also think that John Walker is going to really, really dislike Sam for it.
Oh yeah. There's going to be obviously a lot of tension between those two characters for sure going forward. And I think that's really great because for years you have Sam next to Cap as the two. Now we're going to see them, or not Cap, but as whatever the government has assigned as their version of a hero for the U.S. We're going to see them probably at odds, which I think is going to be really, really interesting. Kaden, do y'all think Torres becomes Sam's friend?
Falcon.
Sam's Falcon. Yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I think he's there for a reason, for sure. And I don't know what part he's gonna play, but it'd be interesting to see. I'd be actually kind of surprised if like somebody takes up another Falcon mantle.
Well, yeah. I mean, I do think that they did include him for a reason, kind of like soften you up for what might come. Maybe test the waters, test the audiences, see, okay, did they take a good reaction to him? Could we potentially bring him in for a longer term? I don't think we'll see a definite in this series, but I think they did maybe test the waters with their relationship together. We don't really see it for too long. We know it's there. We just don't see too much of it because we have another story that we need to hear about. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
There's a story that's definitely at the forefront here, and they needed as much time to tell it as possible. So okay, so Zemo's gone, right? So Zemo's Escobar'd out, as Sam so elegantly put it. And so where's that leave Zemo for the rest of the series? You think he's going to come back? You think he's going to, kind of like he did at the lab where he escapes? But only to return.
Car. Yeah. Exactly.
So do you think we'll get one of those moments where he returns and he's like, nope, I was a good guy the whole time? Right?
I think a lot of people are expecting that, and I think they might even want that. Because especially in the show, Zemo kills it. He steals the show every time he's on screen. And so, but personally, I would love him to like kind of come back and maybe have a secret deal with the power broker or whatever, be a mastermind behind all of this as well. And
he has to have some sinister in him, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I want him to be doing something bad.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's why I like him. Because he's the opposite Avenger. He's the bad guy that you love to love or you love to hate. Kind of like a Loki, right? Where I could even see it going as, how Loki's gonna get his own show. I could definitely see something maybe Zemo centric. As we've spoken about, whether that comes in, a team villain form or, somewhere he takes on a larger role. I think Daniel Bruhl's an actor that if you lock him up long term, it's not a bad thing.
Right. And he's phenomenal in the role, and people obviously have been responding to him and his character and how he's playing him. So I think he's someone definitely that Marvel should keep in the bag, for the future. Who do you guys think is the power broker? I'm going with Sharon.
What?
I'm going with Sharon. I think Sharon Carter is the power broker.
No.
Yeah. I think it's probably the obvious at this at this probably what everybody thinks, but I'm going to stick with that. I think
everyone thinks that. I didn't know that.
There's a lot of people on Twitter, man. You look at these
people think Sharon. She has kind of liked the lifestyle. I could definitely see that.
Right.
Wow, I didn't even think of that. Could she be the power broker?
And there's a few other things too. You look at the end of the episode before last, where they're in Madripoor. She, after all that, she has an assistant and a black car come and swoop her.
Yeah.
Like, how many people in Madripoor
have such catered service when you're on the run? I mean, we know that she inserted that line very clearly that she's done well for herself.
Right.
Damn, man.
Yeah, she's like, is she
the power broker?
She's like, live the high life, might as well, if I'm already a criminal.
Power broker.
Dun,
no. That would shatter my world. That would shatter my world. I'm telling you right now, that would shatter my world. It would be
another really interesting thing for Marvel to do. She was appeared to us as a good guy before. She's
on not even one occasion, but several.
Right.
She's only been good up until this point in the eyes of the audience. Maybe not the eyes of the government, but
but in the eyes of you've seen Winter Soldier and Civil War and all that.
Yeah, so that's a wild theory, but that could really throw people off as well. Like maybe not throw people off because you say a lot of people think it, but that could be a good little that could be something not a lot of people expected from the beginning. Right? Like when you first met Sharon, then she's all of a sudden kind of intimately involved with Captain America, Steve Rogers. And next thing now we see her and she's the power broker and she's threatening little girls' lives because she took the serum.
Right.
That would be crazy.
Exactly. And that's the thing is there's, for me, what makes me think is the little hints like that. She's got security. She beat the crap out of all of those
guys, man.
Yeah,
we knew she was tough, but
right. Oh yeah.
She has shield training. She has specialized shield training because she was assigned to watch Captain America. You don't get assigned to watch Captain America if you're not ready to handle your own, right?
Exactly.
So we know she does have specialized training. So if we're going that route, we could explain it with something. But she did look a little extra beastly, in that episode. How we doing? That's not you, is it?
And no.
Oh, okay. How you doing, man? Happy to have you here. Like and subscribe. Haven't seen you around in a long time and ever actually. But yeah, so no, I think that could be a wild I think that could be wild, and I think that could be a really cool turn of events to see Sharon Carter become kind of go dark side on us. And be the power broker. So next thing, so we already did talk about John Walker. We talked about what could potentially happen with him going on in the future. Maybe taking on the U.S. agent tag now that he's most likely going to be stripped of the Captain America title. You can't decapitate people with the world watching. If we can't sweep it under the rug pretty easily. Sorry, Pimpin', you're going to go. Right, hand the shield, and I do think that Sam and Bucky will strip him of the shield almost instantaneously. Because Bucky's been saying this the whole time, like, "Hey, why did you give this up? And Bucky phrases it differently. Bucky says, "Why did you give him the shield?" Bucky doesn't realize, Bucky didn't realize that Sam gave it to the museum, and the museum gave it to John.
Right, that it was really his right. But I think this was a moment. For Sam too, because up until this point we've seen Sam almost go to this I kind of want nothing to do with that shield. Take it back, but I want to destroy it. He even says, I want to destroy it. But I think him seeing that in that moment, he's gonna realize what this shield, kind of like what Bucky said, this shield means a lot of things to a lot of people. And with John Walker doing this, he just basically tarnished literally the reputation of that shield and how people look at that shield. So I think it's going to be a moment for Sam too, where he kind of realizes, what, maybe besides Bucky, I'm the only person who has to have this shield,
right? Because if it's not with us, who's it going to be with? Someone else like John again, who who decapitates people on a and listen, I get it. It was an emotional moment.
Right.
But as Captain America, as the leader of the Avengers, as the symbol of the American people, the world almost, for the most part, as that person, you need to be able to make the calls in the moment at the worst times. Because Lord knows Steve wouldn't have done that.
And it would have been hard for Steve. It would have been hard, but you're right. He wouldn't have done it. That's a great quote. If Steve was wrong about you, that means he was wrong about me. You know what? I love that scene where Bucky kind of finally breaks it. For me, it's like a moment that he breaks and he just finally expresses, like, he knows, he's aware he was a monster. Yeah. He was this thing, and if the best guy in the world, Captain America, could see the good in him, that was huge. That was huge. So I think that I love that line, and I love that scene of Bucky really expressing, how much and how deep that relationship with Steve really was.
I'm a fan of. I really am a fan of the show. I know you said that, it wasn't maybe your favorite up until maybe last week. I am a fan of it. I've been since the minute I started watching it, and I knew that I probably was going to be before it. The Captain America storyline and the Captain America sub stories, the Captain America like topic stories, they're some of my favorites. They were always my favorite growing up. Marvel Comics really weren't really my favorite growing up. Right. They're kind of, I feel like they were never as deep as DC. And
I agree.
To me, but the Captain America stories were my favorite, out of the Marvel bunch. Not to say I didn't like other stories, but Captain America stories, like, I envy the character.
Right.
So I was preconceived in this, liking this, but from what I've seen of it, it's a tale of good versus evil, but it's also a tale of, like, what is good, what is evil? Is there a line? Could you be both? Right. What if you are both? And all the possibilities that come with all that, right? So, they made political statements with the episode last week, right?
Oh, totally.
Sam trying to talk down a terrorist because he sees something good in those people. That, for all intents and purposes, that's not how the United States works, right? No. The United States shoots and asks questions later.
Right.
And do they do that in the name of good? What is good? That brings us back to our central theme: is what is good, what is bad, who decides what that is? Who decides what's good and what's bad? Is it Captain America? Is it the Avengers? Is it Tony Stark? Like, who is it? Right. So,
and also too that I really love. I will say my favorite part of the show. I know this is off topic, but at least least favorite characters.
I can honestly see what he's saying, though.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
Because the show kind of turned him into like a, it's like that famous meme. It's like when you, like, what you thought you ordered versus what you got.
Right,
and,
right.
What we thought we ordered was like the Zemo we first got in Civil War.
Right.
And then like the what we got now, is what, he's kind of throwing in some humor, which he had no humor in Civil War. There was not an inch or a shred of humor in his story. It was purely motivated by hatred.
Yeah. And I'm hoping, hey, maybe, like I said, like we talked about earlier, we'll see more of him, and we'll get to see him go back to that. The part I like is, I feel like the actor Daniel, he's playing Zemo as I think a probably very deceptive person. He's kind of gotten involved now with Bucky and Sam. They have this little rapport, the three of them. They go back and forth, and I think that's easier now for him to get in their heads. So it'd be really cool if he goes and turns into that evil mastermind that we know and love, and it's just all been this, play,
Right. And with Zemo, like, you should always be watching over your shoulder.
Yeah.
The guy's a master tactician, and if he can find a way to, if he's got to be friends with you for a couple minutes to stab you in the back later,
Right.
He's gonna take it, and he's gonna do it pretty crazy. And that's what I always liked about the character of Zemo is he's not a super being, and he despises them for what they are. But that leads him to kinda hate villains just as much as he hates the heroes. So he really is a different kind of villain where he's a villain because the heroes in the story are the Avengers, but the villains in his story could also be the villains in our story. So sometimes our circle graphs overlap. So, there are days we could work together, but there are days that we couldn't, and that's what I find really cool about the character of Zemo.
Yeah.
Is some days, it's the friend of the enemy of my enemy.
Right. Enemy of my enemy.
But you're still my enemy. Don't get that twisted. Right? Because, and I think, like I said, I think Zemo, I think they need to wrap this guy. I need to sign Daniel Bro to a long-term contract, not like long-term, like Robert Downey Jr., but like get him in a couple projects here. Get him in the Thunderbolts, get him in maybe a second season of I don't know if they could do a second season of this.
They might.
I would like that. I don't want everything to be like WandaVision where it's one and done.
Well, we know Loki's for sure. Loki for sure has season 2 coming.
Yes.
So that's the one.
And I feel like I know they renewed Loki without even having a season 1. Right. I think this show is done well enough to warrant knowing if we're going to get a season 2, if that's a possibility, or are they not telling us that because maybe it is a one and done?
Right.
I don't know. So what are you guys' thoughts? Is this a one and done? Could we potentially get more Falcon and Winter Soldier stories? Is there more stories to tell? Yeah. Would you like it? And what are your thoughts on tonight's episode? Are you excited? And if so, why? I do have to make a coffee real quick. It's been a long day already. So
go for it.
If you could hold down the fort for a second, man. Watch everybody, Look at that. Episode 5, Falcon and Winter Soldier watch party.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh God.
Here we go.
I can't believe we're already here.
I know. 2 episodes left, tonight's episode, and then one more episode after this. I really wish they would just kind of at this point just tell us the release, like the times of how long these episodes are, instead of us kind of having to wait and guess each week. Because we love you, Marvel. We do. We love what you do, but those credits, man, you gotta shorten those. Here's another question for you guys, everybody watching. Isaiah Bradley was introduced in this season, which was a big character from the comics. Obviously, he was a Captain America that the government just kind of threw aside. Obviously, I think he said he was put in prison. So what do you guys think of that? You guys, I would really love to see him come back, or maybe see a flashback. We know that him and the Winter Soldier fought, I think in this show, in the comics, I'm pretty sure it's in World War II, but I think in this show it's in Vietnam that, they mentioned that Winter Soldier and Isaiah crossed paths and fought. So I think it'd be really cool for to see like a flashback of that. Last week, we saw the flashback of Winter Soldier in Wakanda, which for me, I think was a big surprise. I don't think anybody really saw Wakanda coming in this. I guess, I kind of had forgotten that Winter Soldier was also White Wolf now. So I guess you could have guessed that they were coming. But that's another really interesting thing. We have Wakanda introduced in this show again, and AO obviously out for Zemo. We also have this interesting dynamic going on with the Wakandans and Winter Soldier. There seems to be this. See at the beginning of last episode that AO, starts reciting the phrases that gets Winter Soldier into his Winter Soldier mode, evil mode, and he overcomes it. He he doesn't turn into Winter Soldier, and she tells him, basically you're free now. So now, she's done a lot for Winter Soldier. Wakanda has done a lot for Winter Soldier or Bucky. And so this is, I think, a big, big betrayal that they probably feel, the guards from Wakanda, because Zemo, obviously, this is the guy that killed their leader. Literally killed T'Chaka, King T'Chaka. So I think it's a really, I want to see something kind of go on there, some more explanation of like, obviously last week Bucky was really surprised and shocked, and that they installed that the kind of failsafe in the arm, just slap that thing right off. Divine, don't get me wrong, it would be cool to see a flashback of him, but at the same time, how would it fit into the whole MCU storyline? I think it would be kind of one of those things. You never really thought you needed to see the flashback of Bucky overcoming the Winter Soldier phrases. But damn, was it awesome to see. It's one of those things that I think they can fit it in there in a really cool way, just like they did that flashback with Bucky and him overcoming all that. I really, really love that scene. When does it come out? It comes out in
Love from India, baby. Yeah, it comes out.
Comes out. Love that.
Comes out usually around 3 a.m. Eastern. Some days, actually, for a couple times, it came out a little early. But I have included the link to Twitch. Unfortunately, YouTube will flag us for obviously watching the whole thing. But if you want to hop over to our Twitch, it's twitch.tv/popculturecorner, and you could watch the episode with us. And just don't tell on us, wink, wink. But we're happy to provide the Disney Plus for tonight and for next week. A couple of our friends do the watch parties, for the whole series, episode one through whatever it may be. So I don't really like to do them for every episode, but the final two, I have a lot to say, and those are more like event episodes. So I'm really into it. I got my coffee and donuts ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, man. I got a hot dog and some lemonade, and I'm
oh my God, polar opposites.
Right, completely. Well, it's 3:00 for you. It's only midnight for me. Yeah, so this is snacks food.
I am refreshing just to make sure. It's not out and we just don't know it.
Right.
But I am paying attention. But yeah, definitely head over to our Twitch if you'd like to watch the episode with us. Logan, try to jump on the chair again, and I swear I'll smack the shit out of you. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't hit him. But that's really annoying when
you got to give
try
the
to jump up.
Stern. Yeah. We were talking though about Isaiah Bradley and how if he might Isaiah Bradley. He was introduced earlier in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He was the Black Captain America in the Vietnam War.
Right. I would love to. I mean, I don't know if it would fit in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be really out there unless they were going to introduce the character back at some point. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of a backstory, maybe him in that time period. But it would have to be tasteful, and he would have to be coming back. It couldn't be out of left field.
I was going to say I would love to see the flashback fight of him and Winter Soldier. That obviously there was a lot of tension in that house when Bucky walked in there.
You could cut that tension with a knife, baby.
Oh man, and I would love to see what. Obviously, they fucked each other up.
Yeah, if I had to go on record and put some money on it, I would say it was pretty brutal.
Oh.
Not a lot of people can take, and we know by the murky history that we get with Winter Soldier that, well, first off, not a lot of people knew he existed.
Right.
He was kind of a myth to some people. He was, a nightmare to others, or the last thing they saw. And so, not a lot of people lived through experiencing his wrath. Right. And that's eerie, right? So that's an eerie thing to think about.
And now we
However, there
know
was the
guy. One guy.
Right. Well, you could consider Natasha another survivor, but she didn't actually know who. She didn't know who did it. She just was like, I was hit with a Russian slug.
Yeah.
I know who might have done it. Right. So, this guy was like, no, I was sent in, like, to do a job. And, that fight probably was pretty badass though.
Yeah. So I think that would, and I think, like you said, I think they could fit it into this in a really tasteful way, You
think so?
I do. I do.
If you're going to bring the character back though, I don't think you can do it.
And the reason, well, yeah, that's,
because why would you why wouldn't it have been at the beginning of that episode? If they weren't bringing him back to maybe fighting the finale battle with them?
Well, man, it's like I mentioned earlier too. It's that whole opening with Bucky and Wakanda and him being snapped out of the Winter Soldier phrase and stuff. It was one of those things where I don't think we didn't know we needed to see it. It was like it was a really cool thing. Obviously, we knew from the beginning of this series that he wasn't affected by the Winter Soldier phrase, but we didn't know why or what happened. We could have figured, we could have guessed, obviously, in Wakanda. But seeing it and seeing him release that pain and actually, you watch the beginning, he is sobbing when she tells him you're free.
I might say an Oscar might be not an Oscar, but
an Emmy.
I mean, something needs to be done. Like the award ceremonies, they need to normalize like including superhero films because I don't think they're what they used to be. Especially with the genre exploring that we're doing these days. They're not just superhero films anymore.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
It puts me beside myself to think like some performances are written off just because it's a superhero movie.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, some people. Heath Ledger, the one that got main praise, right?
Listen, not to like be ill-fated here or anything, but if he doesn't pass away, he doesn't win that award.
Right, I agree. Yeah,
sadly, he doesn't win that award if he didn't pass.
I agree. I 100% agree. So I think it would be cool. I'll be honest. Like I thought when I saw Black Panther the first few times, I was like, this is an Oscar-worthy movie. I was like, this is.
You serious?
Oh yeah,
You think Black Panther was an Oscar-worthy film?
Absolutely, 100%. I really, you didn't like Black Panther that much?
Yikes! And that was a good story. It was a good story, but the CGI was all over the place.
I loved it. I think I saw that one 5 times in theaters. I really enjoyed Black Panther.
I saw it once.
Oh my gosh!
I saw it the once.
Okay.
That's where it ranks on my list.
Right.
But then for Winter Soldier, I would go and say that film could potentially deserve nominations.
I didn't know this. Divine fun fact: Black Panther actually was nominated for an Oscar. So
I was gonna say that did sound. It did make sense because the PC world, Black Panther, it really did bring a community together, and that part was beautiful. The inclusion that people felt from the film being essentially Black or persons of color, I should say. I'm sorry, persons of color based film. The inclusion of it, I thought that was really cool, and I'm glad that they did that. I just don't think that movie could be in any even remotely in a category with things like Winter Soldier. I really don't.
Winter Soldier's phenomenal. I love Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is up there for me. I love all the Russo brothers stuff.
Right.
In the Marvel universe, specifically a lot more than most of the other Marvel stuff. Besides like Doctor Strange. I did love Doctor Strange. I think John Walker makes his own shield. Whoa.
Episode 5 is in fact out, guys. So I don't really want to waste too much time.
No.
Super's Lair, I think you are pretty spot on. There is a reasoning behind that as well. But we'll talk about it in the post show, which we'll only do for like 20 minutes because at that point it's going to be really goddamn late or early considering on what you think. But guys, the Twitch, you can either watch the actual episode with us on Twitch or you can go up to the beginning of the comments, find my little thing that, says this, copy and paste that into your browser and join us over on Twitch. Make sure to like and follow. And that way you can do it with us again next week. As of right now, we will be pulling off of YouTube. So please join us over there. I really did appreciate all you guys' input. It's funny, at 3 a.m, it's more engagement than at 10 a.m.
Hey, man, people want Falcon and the Winter Soldier, man.
That's what I'm saying. And become a patron, $5 a month. Lets us continue doing these things. So I love you guys. And we'll see you in a few.
Twitch.
Well, you're not going to go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
We're not. Right. We're still here. But to the people.
I'm just removing it from YouTube.
Right.
Ready? 3, 2.